What is going on, everybody? DeFi Afterparty, back at it again. And listen, fam, I got more tickets for you today. Tickets to the Afterparty, because there's something very important that you need to be paying attention to if you are hype on eShare, if you're hype on Plasm, if you are hype on EMP Fusion, if you're hype on the EMP team, period, because what I'm about to show you literally can change your future. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. But anyways, let's talk about eShare. eShare has a history. They've gone through different versions, okay? So you're going to see some different data, if you will, if you Google or search for eShare. But I wanted to show you this page right here. And I just Googled eShare crypto all-time high, because if you look into the past and you can see what has happened with eShare, then you might be very speculative and very optimistic for the future, okay? So let me zoom in right here. And it says the all-time high for eShare, EMP shares, was 3,089.62. Now, there's going to be some people that are EMP OGs that can fact check this or can tell us if it was a little lower, a little higher, or whatever. But from what I recall seeing in the Telegram chats and online in other communities, Discord and such, was that eShare has been around and about $3,000 at one point in time. Okay, now that was version 1 from what I understand. Version 2, all-time high, was $557.84. That's the version essentially we're on right now. Now, let's go look at the chart. eShare right now is at $21.62. Okay, and it was riding about this much or a little lower even in the past couple months, and it was even lower than that, $6 a while ago. And if you could have got eShare at that price, you would basically be 3 to 4x at this point in time. Now, here's the deal. eShare went up, okay? And in the recent a week or two now, it went up, and then boom, it peaked at around $60 on the launch of one of EMP's new protocols called Plasm, okay? Now, what's important here to understand is that it's my belief, my opinion, again, NFA, not financial advice, do your research, but my belief that eShare is going to 10x in the next year. And I'm going to break down why very shortly. Number one, because of the history and all that, right? But number two, look at this. eShare is paired with ETH on the base network. Okay, now there's going to be a little confusion here because there is an eShare and pairing with BNB on another DEX. But specifically, we're talking about base because it's going to roll into Plasm and all these other things that we're about to talk about. So just think about this, and I have a little thing to remind me here on how to stay on track. eShare is paired with ETH. So in 1 year, if ETH goes up, which in my opinion it is going to go up with all the financial institutions and all these big institutions coming in, bringing a lot of money with what you would call regular investors or non-crypto investors, basically spreading out their investments, and diversifying their portfolios, then you should be bullish just on this point alone, right? That eShare could basically double alone if the price of ETH goes up, okay? So let me now roll into another reason why, which is I think going to be the bigger reason why you should be hype on this, which is reason number 2, Plasm, Fusion, and DexFi, okay? Look, Plasm, the new protocol, is paired with eShare, okay? If you're watching this video, you probably know that because you're probably in Plasm and you're seeing how things are rolling out. And what's going to happen is as Plasm develops, as it has some more longevity, what's going to be constantly happening is buy pressure on eShare, because when people are going to be selling Plasm, they're going to be basically be getting eShare in return. Okay, now there will be sell pressure on eShare, let's not get it twisted, but the cool thing about what Plasm is doing is that, I should just pull up the website here. Give me a second. Plasm, Plasm.io. The cool thing that Plasm is doing is that the protocol is using essentially money that's coming into it to what they call buy and build and buy and burn the Plasm tokens and eShare as well, right? And what they're doing is they're taking money that's coming in and they're using one of their sister products and protocols called the DexFi Vaults. And what they're doing with that is they're taking this money and they're essentially using V3 liquidity and basically using liquidity to get fees to basically build this, for lack of a better term, treasury up to then buy and burn Plasm and buy and burn eShare, as well as buy and build liquidity on both. Okay, so if you take this into an account, right, that we have basically a lot of buying pressure on eShare, and there will be selling pressure, like I said, and liquidity building up, then you have to factor this into why I'm saying in the next year or so, maybe even sooner, we're going to see eShare 10x from its current price today, which is $21.61. So basically a $200 eShare is my prediction in the next year, okay? And that is insane. Now, then you have to also take into account that it's not only Plasm that is essentially having eShare as part of its as part of what it's doing in order to work, but also too EMP Fusion, which is the mothership, as the team calls it, is a mothership of everything that essentially the team at EMP creates, right? And so the way this video is not going to be how EMP Fusion works, but essentially how the kind of like the money, the payout token, if you will, or the utility token, I should say, of EMP Fusion is eShare. Okay, you can see, I don't have my wallet connected here, but essentially what happens is that as of right now, the way Fusion's working is you're getting indirectly paid in eShare, okay? And that eShare then is used indirectly to basically buy EMP, which is the token EMP. Now, there's some other ways to cash out this and the other, but as of right now, the majority of people are using the feature to buy more EMP basically with eShare. Okay. Now, this is very indirect how I just said it. There's more to it to that, but basically what I'm trying to tell you is that eShare is really been getting a lot of utility created around it since Fusion came around. And since Plasm came around, and let's not forget DexFi. So let's hop on over to DexFi. Now, this is just one of the vaults in DexFi. And if you don't know what a vault is or DexFi is, you can just Google it or YouTube it and find tons of videos about what it is. But essentially, DexFi creates these vaults or these ways for you to provide liquidity on these different positions, on these different liquidity pairs, right? And when you provide the liquidity, then you're going to get these fees, which basically means you're providing money for liquidity, and in return, you're making money for doing so, okay? Now, what's really cool is this is just one vault, by the way. I'm pretty sure there will be many more that are going to do something similar to what I'm about to say. But for providing liquidity and the way you get paid out in this particular vault, look what the profit token is on this vault, eShare, which means you're putting buy pressure on eShare, which essentially in the long run will go up. So if you take into account the way that Plasm works, the way that Fusion works, and the way that that DexFi works, plus there's going to be more, protocols or ways to put buy pressure on eShare. In my opinion, eShare is going to go up 10x within the next year. Okay, and that is not all. That is not all. Because not only do we have all these reasons right here already, number one or two, but number three is EMP Team. Look, guys, I've been involved with EMP for, I would say, over 3 years now. I found them through a simple YouTube video from my man, Rec to Riches, and he was the reason that I got initially involved and invested in the original EMP protocol. And ever since then, it's gotten better and better and better. And even though there's been setbacks and things that gone wrong, the thing that remains is that the EMP team has kept to their word and come through. So much that at one point I was like, you know what? I need to interview AJ, who's basically the team lead and kind of one of the bigger faces of EMP, because I wanted to talk to him and be like, how did you do all this? How have you gotten this far? And if you go and YouTube this video right here, this is on one of my other YouTube channels. If you go YouTube this, or you go YouTube AJ Brockman interview, or you look for the name of this episode, or actually I'll put it in the description of this video and pin it in the comments. But if you go watch this video, it has the majority or a lot of AJ's story, and it only provides proof in the pudding to why you should really believe in this team and really see where things are going for EMP as a whole. All right, so let's recap real quick. eShares pair with ETH, right? If you're bullish on ETH going up, then you should be bullish on eShare going up, okay? If you're bullish on the way Plasm is utilizing eShare and the way Fusion's utilizing eShare and DexFi is utilizing eShare, essentially all this combines putting buy pressure on eShare and building up liquidity and burning eShare at the same time, and then the EMP team all together, then you should really be hyped and really start thinking about, should I start putting some investment or allocating some money towards eShare? Because again, when it becomes too late, my friends, it becomes too late. And I'm here, DeFi Afterparty, and I have been bringing you the tickets, aka the alpha, for a minute or two. And I'm telling you right now, the tickets are here. I'm handing them out. Are you taking them? And are you going to enter the Afterparty? That is the question. Look, when eShare 10x's in a year or less, all right, and we're really throwing a legit eShare Afterparty, are you going to be the one inside the party, or are you going to be outside in line wishing you had the tickets from a year ago when I said, do this now, let's freaking go?